Your baby can't tell you when something hurts. They can't explain what they feel. They can't ask you to stop. They can't say, "That scared me," or "I need you right now." But that doesn't mean nothing is happening. Because right now, in moments you barely notice, your baby is learning something. About the world, about people, about you. They're learning whether they are safe or alone. And here's what most parents don't realize. Some of the moments that shape your baby the most don't look serious at all. They look normal. They look like everyday life. They look like things loving, caring parents do all the time. This is not about abuse. This is not about neglect. This is about the small, invisible moments that quietly shape your baby's emotional world. And today, we're going to go through 10 of them. And number 6 is something most parents do every single day without realizing what it's actually doing. So stay with me, because once you see this, you can't unsee it. And that changes everything. Let's start with something that seems small, something almost everyone has done. Number 1, ignoring your baby's cry, even for a moment. Imagine this. Your baby is crying, not because they're being difficult, not because they want to manipulate you, but because something inside them feels wrong. Maybe they're uncomfortable. Maybe they're overwhelmed. Maybe they're scared. They don't understand what's happening. All they know is that something doesn't feel right. So they cry. And then they wait. To you, it might feel like a short moment, a few seconds, maybe a minute. Maybe you're busy. Maybe you're exhausted. Maybe you think, they'll calm down. But inside your baby's body, something very different is happening. Their heart rate increases. Their stress levels rise. Their nervous system shifts into alert mode. Because from their perspective, they are calling for help, and no one is coming. A baby doesn't think logically. They don't say, "Mom is busy," or "Dad will be here in a minute." They feel. And what they feel in that moment is simple. I'm alone. Now, one moment like this won't change everything. Life happens. You won't respond instantly every single time, and that's okay. But patterns matter. Because when this happens again, and again, and again, your baby starts to build an expectation. Not with words, but with feeling. And that feeling becomes something deeper. When I need someone, no one comes. And that feeling doesn't just disappear. It stays. It shapes how they experience connection. It shapes how they experience safety. And it becomes part of how they see the world. Now let's go deeper, because the next one is even more subtle, and almost no one notices it. Number 2, the tone of your voice when you're overwhelmed. Think about this. You've had a long day. You're tired. You haven't slept properly. You're stressed, running on low energy, trying to keep everything together. And your baby starts crying. You pick them up and you say something like, "It's okay, I'm here." The words are right, but your voice is tight. There's tension in it. There's pressure, even if it's very slight. And here's what most parents don't realize. Your baby doesn't understand your words. They don't process language the way you do. But they are incredibly sensitive to something else. Tone, rhythm, energy. Your baby is not listening to what you say. They are feeling how you say it. And even more importantly, they are feeling your internal state. So if your body is tense, if your voice carries stress, if your nervous system is overwhelmed, your baby absorbs that instantly. Because in their world, you are their reference point. You are their signal of safety. And when that signal feels unstable, their system reacts. Not with thoughts, not with logic, but with their body. Their breathing changes, their tension increases, their sense of safety drops. Even if you are holding them, even if you are saying the right words. Because to your baby, it's not about the words. It's about what they feel from you. And over time, they begin to learn something very important. If the person I depend on is not calm, then I am not safe. Now, this doesn't mean you have to be perfect. You're going to feel stressed. You're going to feel overwhelmed. That's human. But becoming aware of this changes everything. Because even a small shift, like taking one breath before you respond, can completely change the signal your baby receives. And that signal is what shapes their world. Number 3, when your baby looks away and you don't notice what it means. This happens all the time. You're holding your baby, someone comes closer. They start talking, smiling, making sounds, and suddenly your baby turns their head. They look away. They avoid eye contact. Most people don't think much of it. They assume the baby is distracted or shy or just not interested. But that's not what's happening. That is communication. That is your baby saying, "This is too much." Because babies don't have words. They don't say, "I'm overwhelmed. I need a break. This is too intense for me." Instead, they use their body. And one of the clearest signals is this: looking away. It's how they regulate themselves. It's how they protect their nervous system from too much stimulation. But when that signal is ignored and the interaction continues, something important happens. Your baby learns something. Not consciously, not in words, but in feeling. My signals don't matter. My boundaries are not respected. And over time, that becomes a pattern. Because every time they try to disengage and it doesn't work, their system stops trying. Now, this doesn't mean every moment like this causes damage, but again, patterns matter. Because when your baby's signals are consistently seen and respected, they learn something very different. They learn, "I am understood. I am safe to express myself." And that changes everything. Number 4, saying "you're fine" when they're clearly not. This one feels harmless. It feels natural, almost automatic. Your baby is crying, upset, frustrated. Maybe they wanted something and you took it away. Maybe they can't reach a toy. Maybe they're simply overwhelmed. And your instinct is to comfort them by saying, "You're okay. You're fine. It's nothing." But here's the problem. They're not fine. And your baby knows that. Not with logic, but with feeling. Inside their body, something real is happening. Their emotional system is activated. Their stress is real. Their experience is real. And when what they feel doesn't match what they hear, a disconnect begins. Because now there are two realities, what they feel and what they're being told to feel. And those two don't match. Over time, this creates confusion. It creates doubt. It creates a subtle but powerful message. What I feel is not accurate. And that is where disconnection begins. Not because you're doing something wrong intentionally, but because the emotion is being dismissed instead of understood. Your baby doesn't need you to fix the emotion. They don't need you to make it disappear. They need something much simpler. They need to feel seen. Even something as small as your tone changing, your presence softening, your attention focusing on them can completely shift what they experience. Because when their emotion is met, instead of dismissed, their system learns how to regulate. Not alone, but with you. And that is how emotional security is built. Number 5, when your attention is on your phone. This one is everywhere, and most people don't realize how powerful it is. You're sitting with your baby, maybe they're playing, maybe they're looking at you, and for a moment, you check your phone. Just for a second. You scroll, you read something, you get pulled in, and while that's happening, your face changes. It becomes still, neutral, unresponsive, and to you, it feels like nothing. But to your baby, that moment feels completely different. Because your face is not just a face. To your baby, your face is their emotional mirror. It's how they understand the world. It's how they read safety. It's how they feel connection. And when that mirror suddenly goes blank, even for a few seconds, they notice. Immediately. They try to reconnect. They look at you. They wait for a response. And when it doesn't come, their system reacts. Because from their perspective, the connection just disappeared, even though you're physically there. And when this happens repeatedly throughout the day, something subtle begins to form. A sense of disconnection. Not dramatic, not obvious, but consistent. And that consistency is what shapes their experience. This doesn't mean you can never use your phone. That's not realistic. But becoming aware of these moments and choosing to come back quickly to reconnect makes a bigger difference than most people realize. Because to your baby, your presence is everything. Number 6, overstimulation. This is one of the most misunderstood things in early development. Because everything around us tells us the same idea. More stimulation is better. More toys, more sounds, more colors, more activity. It feels like we're helping, like we're giving our baby more opportunities to learn. But your baby's nervous system doesn't work like yours. It's still developing, still learning how to process even the simplest things. And what feels normal to you can feel overwhelming to them. Imagine this. There's noise in the background. A TV is on. People are talking. Lights are bright. Movement is constant. To you, it's just a regular environment. But to your baby, it can feel like too much. Too many signals, too much input, too much happening at once. And when their system reaches that limit, it doesn't calm down. It overloads. And the signs are easy to miss. They look away. They become tense. They start to fuss. Their body stiffens. Sometimes they suddenly go quiet and seem distant. Most people don't recognize these signals. So what do? We try to fix it. We add more. More movement, more sound, more stimulation. Trying to distract them, trying to soothe them. But what they actually need is the opposite. Less. Less noise, less movement, less input. Because your baby doesn't need more stimulation. They need regulation. They need a calm environment. They need a nervous system near them that feels steady. And when they get that, their system settles. Their body relaxes. Their sense of safety returns. This is not about removing everything. It's about noticing the signs and understanding that sometimes less is what helps them the most. Number 7, not responding to their attempts to connect. This one is quiet, very easy to miss, but incredibly important. Your baby looks at something. They make a sound. They move their hands. They try to show you something. It might seem small, almost insignificant, but it's not. That moment is an invitation. Your baby is saying, "Look at this with me. Be here with me. Share this moment." And when you respond, something powerful happens. A connection forms. Their brain builds new pathways. They learn that their actions matter, that they can reach you, that they are seen. But when that moment is missed, when there's no response, no eye contact, no acknowledgement, something else happens. The opportunity disappears. Because your baby is constantly trying to connect. And each time that connection doesn't happen, their system adjusts. Not in a dramatic way, but gradually, quietly. They try less. They reach less. They expect less. And over time, that shapes how they relate to others. This kind of interaction has a name: serve and return. Your baby serves by reaching out, by making a sound, by looking at something. And you return by responding, by noticing, by engaging, by being present in that moment. And it's in that back and forth that their brain develops. Not through toys, not through apps, not through stimulation, but through connection. Simple, human connection. And the most powerful part is this: you don't need to do anything complex. You don't need to be perfect. Just noticing and responding is enough. Because in those small moments, your baby is learning something fundamental. I matter. And that belief stays with them far beyond infancy. Number 8, sudden separations without warning. This one surprises a lot of parents because it often comes from a good intention. You're leaving the room, going to work, handing your baby to someone else, and instead of saying goodbye, you quietly disappear. Maybe you've heard that it's better this way, that it avoids crying, that it makes things easier. But from your baby's perspective, something very different is happening. One moment you're there, the next moment you're gone. No signal, no transition, no explanation, just absence. And for a baby, that's not a small thing, because you are not just a person to them. You are their anchor, their reference point, their sense of safety. So when you disappear suddenly, their system reacts, not with logic, but with alarm, because now the world feels unpredictable. And when something feels unpredictable, it doesn't feel safe. Over time, this creates a subtle form of anxiety, a need to constantly check, to stay alert, to make sure you're still there. But when separations are predictable, even if there are tears, something very different happens. Your baby learns, even if you leave, you come back. And that creates security. Not the absence of emotion, but the presence of trust. Number 9, physical disconnection. Touch is not just affection. It's regulation, it's communication, it's biology. From the moment your baby is born, their body is wired to connect through touch, holding them, carrying them, gentle contact throughout the day. These are not small things. They are signals. Signals that say, you're safe, you're not alone, you're connected. And when those signals are consistent, your baby's body reflects that. Their heart rate stabilizes, their stress decreases, their system relaxes. But when physical connection is minimal, even in a loving home, something changes. Not dramatically, but subtly. Their baseline stress increases. Their system stays slightly more alert, because one of their main sources of safety is missing. And this is not about holding them every second. It's about the small moments. A hand on their back, carrying them close, simple, consistent contact. Because to your baby, touch is not optional, it's essential. Number 10, emotional absence. This is the one most people don't talk about, because it's not visible. You can be physically present. You can feed your baby, change them, hold them, do everything right, and still be emotionally unavailable. Maybe you're exhausted. Maybe you're overwhelmed. Maybe your mind is somewhere else. Maybe you're dealing with stress, anxiety, or something deeper. And on the outside, everything looks fine. But inside, you're not really there, and your baby feels that. Because your baby doesn't just respond to what you do, they respond to what you feel. Your emotional state becomes part of their environment. So when you're disconnected, they experience that as distance, even if you're right next to them. This is not about blame. This is not about being perfect. This is about awareness. Because the most powerful thing you can give your baby is not perfection, it's presence, even imperfect presence. Even moments where you come back, where you notice, where you reconnect. And that brings us to something very important. Because after everything we've talked about, there's something you need to hear. You don't have to get this right all the time. You don't have to be a perfect parent. In fact, perfect parents don't exist. What matters is something much simpler: connection, repair, coming back. Because it's not the moments where things go wrong that shape your baby the most. It's what happens after. It's the return. The moment you notice, the moment you reconnect, the moment your baby feels, I'm not alone anymore. That is what builds trust. That is what builds safety. That is what shapes their world. So the next time your baby looks at you, really looks at you, understand what's happening. They're not just looking, they're reading you, feeling you, learning from you, and shaping themselves around that connection. And here's the truth. The fact that you're here, watching this, trying to understand, means you're already doing something right. Because awareness is where everything starts. If this video made you see things differently, subscribe. Because what your baby feels is only the beginning.